See, is it working? I don't know. I can't tell. I can't tell if we're streaming or not. Let's
I
see.
I have a message that pops up that says the meeting is being live streamed.
Yeah, so do I.
Okay, well, then I can't see on here. I'm trying to see if I can see the stream, which I should be able to, but let's see if it's here. Nope, that's not what I needed to do. But it is live. So if you're here and you can hear me from somewhere, I'm figuring it out. I'm figuring out my life. I am. I am. I'm just, how do I see what's being streamed? This is so very confusing. Wait, what if I click here? Nope, that's not it. I don't know. What if we go home? And what if we click here? There we go. Yay. Now I think I can maybe see what's going on. And I think there's a way for me to see the chat there. I don't know. Oh, wait. Boom. Boom shakalaka laka boom. All right. Now I can share my screen and we can get this party started. Sorry guys. It is it's a thing. So now you should be able to see my screen. Now I can see the chats and we're going to go in. We left off on question 61 before, on 60 before. So let's just go into 61. The adjustment process and the direct sales comparison approach involves the principle of A, contribution, B, diminishing returns, C, variable proportions, and D, anticipation. Lots of words here, lots of big words, but what are we thinking? And you know what? I don't know if anybody online can see that. Let's try that stop share and do it again. Stop share and iPhone cable. Let's see. Now, I think, I don't know. I don't know. Wait, you all are still here in Zoom, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. The question is, can anybody online see it? Let's see. YouTube, office hour, live real estate. I think. Yep. Okay, it is. I don't know why it's just being weird on my end. Who knows? Who knows? Okay. So, what are we thinking? Okay, that silence means y'all aren't sure.
Well, this is the same as um, the market data approach, right?
Yes. So we know we've got this direct sales comparison approach is the same as the market data approach or just the sales comparison approach. So we know in the idea that we've got the sales comparison approach, we've got our subject property, then we're going to have some comp properties, and then we adjust our comp properties to see what they're going to be worth. And usually when it asks what is the sales comparison approach based off of, or CMAs, the answer is substitution, right? That's
Right.
what we usually go like, oh, it's substitution. But that's not an option, so we got to figure it out. Are there any of these that we can eliminate?
Diminishing returns.
Yeah, it's not diminishing returns. Like that would be, you're just getting smaller return on your money, smaller return on your money, right?
Yes.
And variable proportion sounds like a mouthful, but I'm not thinking that's it either. So now we've got contribution and we've got anticipation.
I think it's contribution,
I think it's
actually.
contribution too,
Yes.
because contribution is the idea that you can add value to something. It's going to be taken into consideration to what you're adding it to, but you can, in fact, add value. And when you're doing a CMA or the sales comparison approach of the appraiser, if you comparing a 3 bedroom to a 2 bedroom, you would be adding to that 2 bedroom house to make it a 3 bedroom. And anticipation would be the idea of things having value in the future, but we're talking about the adjustment process. So I think A is our answer. We're going to go with contribution, but it's a good question. I like that one. I have not seen that one before. That's saying a lot. We're good on that one. That makes sense to everybody. Why? Yay.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
62. A contract in which A agrees to allow B to use A's real estate in return for periodic payments of money by B is A. A is allowing B to use A's real estate and they're making periodic payments. Well, I think we can all eliminate that it's not a deed. Well, yeah, well, no. I'm going to say it's not a deed. The
Isn't it like
contract,
a purchase money mortgage?
yeah, what would be a
Yeah, that's
purchase?
what I was gonna say, mortgage.
I was gonna say purchase money mortgage, or a land contract, an installment land contract, but you've got mortgage here, but that's just a general mortgage. So I don't think that's going to be the answer. I think our answer is going to be C, because in C, you're leasing. So A is allowing B to use A's land and they're getting periodic payments. I think if there was an installment land contract or contract for deed on here, we'd be in a different position. But lease has got to be our answer, and I'm going to triple check that one. Yep, Trick says C too. I love it. And yep, C is our answer. Hey. All right. 63. Dower rights assure that. Dower rights assure that A, a husband receives a certain portion of his deceased wife's estate. B, wives and in some states children receive a certain portion of a deceased husband or father's estate. C, a homeowner cannot lose his entire investment in his home. Yep, that's not right. Let's just go ahead and eliminate that one right now. And D, husband and wives share equally in property acquired during marriage. That's not right either. So what are we thinking? Anything?
When I think of dower, I think it's like a wife's interest in a husband's property.
Yes, exactly. B is our answer. And I'll tell you the only reason I kind of know off the top of my head is because of this W. I always think to myself, dower is the wife's interest, right? Dower is the wife's interest with that W. And do you remember the word for the husband's interest?
Curtsy.
Curtsy. Yep. So Curtsey. Curtsy. That would be the husband's interest. Y'all, knowing your vocab is so crucial, but I know I'm talking to the choir at this point. I know y'all know that. Okay, 64. When an individual holds property past the expiration of a lease without the landlord's consent, the leasehold estate she has is I already know y'all know this one.
Tenancy
Is
and sufferance.
It's a tenancy at sufferance. We know this. Tenancy at sufferance. Okay, and just as a review, what does freehold estate actually mean? When you say freehold estate, what is that? What type of estate? Estate means you can live there, it's possession. What does freehold mean?
Is it kind of like deep
Will-
sea?
Well, no, deep sea is your bundle of rights. Whenever you own a property, you get your bundle of rights and then you can choose what to do with it. But the word estate means, okay, I can live there. Because we know there's two types of estates, non-freehold estates and freehold estates. What does freehold mean?
Leases?
It doesn't have the limits of time.
Willable?
Willable would be fee.
Oh, that's free. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's I'm getting.
So we got two estates here. Freehold versus non-freehold, which we know is a leasehold. Right? And if we think about it, I'm sure I have it here somewhere. Let me pull it up. Where's my in the car here? Boom. When we think about our estates, It's going to load eventually. There we go. We think about our estates.
There's no end there's no time limit, right?
Well, this is all about, yeah, your ownership time limit. And so
Yeah.
I said you own it forever.
Mm-hmm.
And here you never owned it. And we're going from left to right. Remember, fee simple absolute, you owned it forever. Fee simple defeasible, you could possibly own it forever. Life estates was you were going to own it, but it was never forever. And then freehold is, or non-freehold is, you never owned it. So when you look at this, your freehold estates all have to do with ownership. And every single one of these freehold estates, you owned it. The question is, how long did you own it? Your non-freehold estates, you never owned it. If you have an estate from period to period, you never owned it. You were simply leasing. If you have an estate for years, you never owned it. You were simply leasing. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes? Yes, yay. So let's go back to our thing here. When I say estate, you know that somebody can live there. If you see freehold, you know that they own it. And if you see non-freehold, you know that it's some type of leasehold. It's leasing. The person never owned it. The actual owner is giving away one of their bundle of rights, the deep sea, to somebody else. And then that right of possession is going to revert back to the original owner at the end of the lease. I mean, I'm using a lot of the words we see on the test, but you see how they kind of come together? That's what we want. All right. Common of pasturage. Pasturage? You got me. I don't know. I have no idea what that is, and I don't, nope. And then we know holdover tenancy. Well, that would be, that is not the, it's a tenancy at sufferance, but you're usually a holdover tenant. Like it's mixing the words not in the right way, if that makes sense. Tenancy at sufferance is going to be our estate because it's asking the type of leasehold estate. And this is not a type of leasehold estate. Okay. 65. A broker's unlicensed secretary may sell property providing he does it under the broker's direct supervision. Well, you're unlicensed, so yeah, you're not selling anything. May sell or negotiate deals, so as long as they don't leave the, nope, you're not selling or negotiating because you're unlicensed. May refer interested clients to the broker or her employed licensees. Well, sure. We know it's not D, all of the above. This one has to be right. May refer interested clients to the broker or her employed licensees. But what she or he cannot get is a commission or referral fee. You can refer all you want, but you can't get paid for that referral unless you are a licensee, making our answer C. Boom. All right. 66. Discount points in FHA and VA loans are generally paid by the A, lender, B, purchaser, C, seller, or D, broker. Let me help y'all out. It ain't D.
Purchaser.
Yeah, it's purchaser. Nice, easy question. That one's not too bad. You liked C, tricks for the last one? Yeah, I think we had C. Wait, you know what, Tricks? You said you like C for which one? Are you talking about 65 or 66? I don't know. I don't know, but I'm thinking you're thinking 65 and the delay, and you're cool with 66 being B because the discount points wouldn't be paid by the seller in a FHA loan. That's no. Okay. 67. Which of the following is not required of an agent with respect to his principal? I see his tricks. Yep, that was for 65. I got you. And then you said B for 66. So for 67, Which of the following is not required of an agent with respect to his principal? So we know 3 of these are duties and 1 is not a duty because it says required. A, to be loyal. Well, I think that's true. You do have to be loyal. B, to act in person. No, I don't like that one. C, to account for the agent's own personal finances. To account for the agent's own personal. Why would you have to account to your client for your own personal? I don't like that one either. And to act in the principal's best interest. Well, we know that's true. You have to do D and you have to do A. So now we're down to act in person or to account for the agent's own personal finances. Y'all talk to me.
I want to know what act in person is.
Does that mean to be present?
I mean, that's what I would have thought means to be present. Kind of tricks. You got anything for us there? I'm like,
Yeah.
This is a tough one.
Trix says she thinks it's C, to account for the agent's own personal finances. I mean, I don't think I have to account to my client for my personal finances, so I'm gonna go with C, but only because I don't think I should have to account to my personal finances. I don't even know what act in person. I don't know. What do y'all think? Should we try C? I think we should try C.
Yes, let's go for
Okay.
C.
67. Oh, the answer is C. And the crowd goes wild. I have no idea what act in person means. Like, it kind of sounds like an attorney in fact to act in person. Okay, now I'm curious. You know who we have to call, and it's not Ghostbusters. It is Uncle Ray.
Say the same thing.
All right, well, you don't know. Call
Ghostbusters.
call Ghostbusters. Hey, Uncle Ray, I'm doing a practice question, and the question is, which of the following is not required of an agent with respect to his principal? And the answer choice that was not correct, meaning it is required of an agent with respect to his principal, is to act in person. What does that mean, to act in person? What does that refer to?
Hey there, Candace. Absolutely. Let's break that down. So when they say that an agent is required to act in person, that basically means the agent is expected to personally carry out certain duties themselves rather than delegating those tasks to someone else or just handing them off entirely. In other words, the idea is that there are certain responsibilities that come with being an agent where you have to show up yourself or you have to perform the duty personally. It's about that personal involvement rather than letting a substitute do it. So that's what that phrase is really getting at. You as the agent need to handle certain things directly.
All right, did y'all hear that? Yes?
Sure did, and I'm glad.
Oh, sorry, I didn't turn him off. Y'all could hear that? Yes, Mariel, could you hear it?
Yes, and
I
that
couldn't.
makes sense.
I don't know why I couldn't.
Yeah, I wonder why it doesn't pick it up for you, Mariel. Basically, he said to act in person means there's some things that when you're the agent, you need to personally be doing. You can't just pawn it off on somebody else. I had no idea. Uncle Ray to the rescue, right? We all learned something. Okay.
Is his on live, or it's a
Oh, no,
recorded?
that's AI.
Oh,
That is
gosh.
Uncle Ray is AI. We love him.
Okay.
Okay, and we've learned something. 68. Tenancy and severalty refers to. Now, this is one of those moments where in your head, I hope that you answered this yourself. You said, I know what tenancy and severalty means, and then you find the matching answer, right? So we already know tenancy and severalty. Even though it's got the word several in it, we're trying to think of the word sever. And that's going to be by one person, making our answer A, ownership by one person only. But I do want to double check, triple check, and quadruple check that the other ones are wrong. It's not ownership by two persons or at least three persons. A special form of joint ownership available only to married couples. No. Mm-mm. And again, might be the longest answer, but it is not the right answer, proving why it's not always the longest answer. All right, next. 69. A person, oh, I feel like I missed the opportunity to be like 6'7". Oh, these teenagers. Is that what Pauly Shore sounded like to our parents, for those people that are old enough to remember him? Just saying. And Trix, I know you knew it was one person. Just this brain rot the kids have going on today, I don't understand. And I'm officially turned into my parents. 69, giggle, giggle. A person who has permission to use land but has no other rights. Okay. You have the permission to use the land but no other rights. Has a tenancy at sufferance, a tenancy in common, a license, or fee simple estate.
A license.
Yeah, I like license too. But why? Well, we know a fee simple estate means you can live there because it's an estate and it's inheritable.
Is it
Pretend like I
because
said-
they have permission to use the land?
Oh, you mean why is this the
license.
right answer?
Yeah.
Yes, because in a license, you have permission to use the land, but it's not an encumbrance. We know a tenancy in common means you own it, and a tenancy at sufferance means you have the right to live there. A trick says we had a teacher decorate her trunk or trick with 6 and 7. Her trunk or tick. Okay, Trix, what were you trying to say there? Her trunk or tick? Okay, I know it's spell check. Her trunk or trick or treat, trunk. What's a trunk or tick?
I think it's trunk or treat.
What's a trunk or treat?
Where they go out, instead of going to houses, they go to the cars, or like in a group. Trick or treat like that. Yeah.
Oh, I saw one of those. I was like, can I stop by? I got you now, Trix. She said the trunk or trick. Is it a trunk or trick or trunk or treat?
I think it's treat.
Okay. But either way, instead of going to houses, you just go to somebody's car, like in the big parking lot for Halloween. I got you. I'm learning so much.
Yes, a lot of churches do that.
Oh, I got you. I learned so much from you all. Love it. Okay. Number 70. When taste and standards cause an existing house to lose value, there is. So we're talking about taste and standards cause an existing house to lose value. Is it physical deterioration, economic obsolescence, functional obsolescence, or all of the above? What say you? Amy says C. We got one person saying C. Mariel, you said it's D,
I
all of
think
the
it's
above.
D as well.
You think it's D as well? We got 2 Ds. Anybody else?
I think it's D.
You think it's D? All right, all of the above. I got to go with C, functional obsolescence. And here's why, and this is going to be our answer, C. Remember, physical deterioration is just about its physical state. It could be painted a hideous orange, but as long as the paint is not peeling or falling apart, it could be even ugly design, but as long as it's in good shape, you're not losing money for physical deterioration. If it was economic obsolescence, it's something, outside the home that you can't control, but that's not your taste and standards. I guess you can't really choose that, but it's about something about outside the house that you can't change. So like a road being widened, like being near a a plant, some kind of like automotive plant, and it stinks or something. But functional obsolescence is going to be when the function or utility is outdated. So when we think about standards, none of us is going to buy a new construction house right now that is 4 bedrooms and 2 baths. It's at least going to be 4 bedrooms and 2.5 baths. But if this was 1960s, 1970s, then 4 bedrooms, 2 baths wouldn't be weird. It's not that it's physically not possible and it's not economic. We're talking about something that's inside the house. It would be functional obsolescence because the standard of what people expect has changed. Think for those of us that are old, think about eh, like automatic windows in a car. At some point, there were most of us in the 80s had, the windows you had to roll up. And eventually, one person, one car got those electric windows, then another, then another. And now, would any of us buy a new car that didn't have electric windows? So it's not that it's broken. It's not physical deterioration. It's not economic obsolescence. It's functional obsolescence. The function is no longer what's needed today. That makes sense why it's not D, all of the above?
I do have a question.
Yeah.
So basically the reason is C is because of the tastes and standards. It's kind of keywords in there.
Yes. It's about the taste and standards. So
And
how
also-
many bathrooms that you have, or like if the plumbing
Right.
is outdated, it could still work, but maybe it's not what you want anymore.
But physical deterioration, I thought, has to do with the house falling apart. That
Yeah.
will decrease the house, right?
Yes. Yes. And that could be
Okay.
either curable or incurable. But your taste and standards has nothing to do with the physical deterioration. Like, let's say you had a house from the 1970s that was in perfect condition, like absolute perfect condition. Somebody took, you ever like hear stories or seen where somebody's old and they had a brand new car when they were in their in their 80s, and they never drove it for 15 years. In fact, that just happened to my cousin. One of her friends' parents died, sorry for them, but the mother had this like Lexus SUV that they had 5,000 miles on, y'all. It was 10 years old, I want to say, but it had 5,000 miles. Now, physical deterioration really wasn't all that much. But functional obsolescence, yeah, that was there. I think it had like an okay backup camera, but it doesn't have CarPlay or Android Play. It doesn't have necessarily heated seats because that wasn't the thing when it was done. That would be functional obsolescence. It's in great shape, but the style and the taste and the standards, if you compare it to new Lexus SUVs, it's going to be a lot bigger and like bubblier because the SUVs were just bigger then. Does that kind of make sense? I hope
Yes,
so.
because it's
Yes.
still functional.
Thank you.
Yeah, because it still works. It's just the taste is out of date. All right. A rule of thumb method for determining a price a wage earner can afford to pay for a home is to multiply her annual income by 1.5%, 1.5, not percent. B is 2.5, 3, C is 4, and D is 6.
I guess 4, but I'm not sure.
Okay, let's think about this. Okay, so we know we have a general 28-36 rule. So that means no more than 28% of your income could go towards housing, which is about the middle 30. So I would say it's either going to be C or D, B or C. We're not going to say multiply your annual income by 6, by that, no. And even, let's see, if you made 40,000 a year, you multiplied that by 4, we're saying that you could afford, what is that, $160,000 house? versus if you took 40,000 and you multiplied it by 2.5. I mean, I should be able to do that math in my head, but we're not even gonna try. That's $100,000 house. Ooh.
It might be 2.5. I don't know.
I mean, if we're taking into consideration taxes and insurance, 2.5.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go with 2.5.
Yeah.
That's my logic. I don't know. Trix said C, and Trix could very well be. I don't.
I think you're right. I think it's B.
Okay, 71. Let's see.
But
It is B. Hey, the answer's B. The answer's B. Hey, the answer's B. All right. You all saw how I came to that answer. That is not scientific. That was truly just a good guess.
Good job, Candace.
Good job. Good job.
Ready to take your test, Candace.
I'm ready to take my test. I'm taking one tomorrow, so we'll see what happens.
You are?
Yeah, I'm taking my end of class exam for my Michigan test.
Oh,
I told my
awesome.
current class that when they test tomorrow, I would take my Michigan exam. So
Oh,
That's
We'll visit-
awesome.
yeah,
Best of luck.
Have I studied enough? Probably not. But I think what's going to happen is I'm going to take the end of class exam. I'm going to fail it and feel stupid and be like, now, Candace, you did not study the way you tell your students to. I know I haven't, so I don't deserve to pass. But then I'm gonna feel stupid and then I'll bump it up. I'm definitely one of those executive dysfunction type people. All right, 72. Do not be like your teacher. Do as she says, not as she does. And I wish you all could see. Oh, where is it? There's a sign over here on my wall that says, I am excellent at giving advice I would never follow. What can I say? And then next to it, I have a sign that says, dreams don't work unless you do. So unless I pull myself together and work a little harder tonight before I test tomorrow, that dream will not work. I mean, it's right there on my wall. So we'll see. 72. A real estate license once received remains in effect indefinitely, is good for a limited period of time. C, must be filed in the county records, or D, may be inherited by the holder's spouse. You think I've got it, Trix? I hope so. I hope so. We'll see. Me. I think we all know that this one is going to be good for a limited period of time. All real estate licenses expire. The question is, for your state, how long is it? How long do you have to, how often do you have to renew, pay your license? And then we know we're going to have to take CE and all of those things. I don't even need to look at the answer key for that one. We know it's B. All right, 73. Which of the following is most accurately described as personal property? Which of the following is most accurately described as personal property? A fixture, a chattel, an improvement, or realty?
Chattel rattles.
I have not heard that one before. Did you come up with that one?
No, I heard it. So I don't know where, somewhere.
Chattel rattles. I just imagine turning up a house upside down and it like rattling in the house. If it rattles in the house, it's personal property. Okay, chattel rattles. You know what? I love
like
it.
that one, Amy.
I like that one too. Chattel rattles. I like it. All right, 74. A real estate broker is a general agent, a special agent, a secret agent, or a travel agent. Okay, well.
Special agent.
I wish you could do both. Travel agent Special
I mean,
agent.
I guess if you're working in sales, you would be a special agent. And if you're working in property management, you'd be a general agent. But I think they're probably talking about B special agent, is my guess. 74, yeah, they said B special agent. But we all know in property management, you are a general agent. You do get to make some independent decisions. All right, 75. A broker may use escrow monies held on behalf of others, A, for collateral for business loans, B, for collateral for personal loans, C, for salary advances to his licensees and his employee, or D, none of the above.
I'm going to say D on this one.
Yeah, because you don't want to go to jail. It's trust monies. They're escrow monies. They're being held in the trust account, which means we know those monies do not belong to the person who owns the account. They are somebody else's monies. And this always makes me think of the two words you got: commingle versus conversion. Does everybody understand the difference between commingling trust monies and conversion of trust monies? Is that a
I know
yes?
commingling. Yeah, I understand. Conversion. Can you remind me of that?
Yeah. Commingling is when you mix your like personal monies, the holder of the account's monies, with the trust monies. You can't do that. So in North Carolina, for example, if you're a broker with a trust account, you can have up to $100 of extra money or what's needed. In Michigan, however, see, I have been studying, it's $2,000. The limit is $2,000. So your state, depending on what your laws are, will tell you how much you can have in there, and they'll be like, okay, yeah, that's fine, because we don't want fees or something to take somebody's money. So that's commingling, is when you mix your personal money with the trust monies. Conversion is when you take the monies that are being held in escrow and you use it for one of these things. You're converting somebody else's money to money that you use like yours. So conversion, you're converting it into into your money. So that's the difference between commingling and conversion. All right, 76.
Hey, Candace.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, on this, is it what brokers do or brokers and agents? I mean, I know it's against the law to do that, but I was just wondering if this was for both.
So, in my experience, and I don't know about every state, but my guess is if you're just I'm gonna say just a salesperson, if you're a salesperson, you shouldn't be in charge of that trust account. So, I think this is going to be falling more. I mean, I think it's going to be illegal for a salesperson to do it anyway, but
Yeah.
it's usually in most states a broker, or like
Okay.
in North Carolina, a broker in charge, like some in the broker only states, whoever's in charge, they
Okay.
can't do this.
Yeah, I
Unless
kind of thought that, but I
Mhm.
just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, no, you're good. Look, we like the questions. That's how we learn. All right, 76. Which of the following forms of deeds has one or more guarantees of title? Which of the following forms of deeds has one or more guarantees of title? Quitclaim, executors, warranty, or special form? All right, Maria, I love how you tell me what number it is. I love how y'all do when
See,
y'all do that.
warranty.
Warranty deed. We know that's the right answer. See, warranty deed. All right.
Do you mind to?
Yeah, go ahead.
So the warranty deed in general, I was the other day was trying to answer this other question that got kind of tricky. But do you mind to explain the warranty deed in the general deed? Because I know the general is the max of
So it's like the full name of it is a general warranty deed. You could call it a general deed. You can call it, most people don't. I've heard it warranty deed or general warranty deed. I guess if somebody said general deed, I would assume this is what they meant, but a warranty deed is a general warranty deed. Because remember,
Thank you
you've
so
got general
much.
warranty deed, you got special warranty. Okay, if I could spell, that'd be helpful. You got your bargain and sale, and then you have your quit claim. So your warranty deed is the same as the general warranty deed.
Perfect, thank you. But the letter D on the D special form, that is nothing to do with the special warranty, right?
No, that's not the special warranty. That makes me think of insurance.
Okay, thank you.
You're good. All right, 77. The highest price a buyer is willing but not compelled to pay, and the lowest price a seller is willing but not compelled to accept is. So what gets me in this is but is not compelled. And to be compelled is like duress, like being forced to pay. So the highest price a buyer is willing, but you weren't forced to pay, and the lowest price that a seller is willing but wasn't forced to accept is it the estimated value, the economic value, the marginal value, or the market value?
D, market value.
D, market value. Anybody else? Amy says D. Real says D. Yeah, y'all are geniuses.
I said D.
Yep. Oh, Hannah, you say D too? And I already know Trix is going to tell me D. I already know. Doot. It's D. All right, 78. To be valid, a deed does not. I think the word does would be make this flow better. To be valid, a deed need not. Okay, a deed need not. I mean that. Okay, Candace, let it go. Let it go. This is weird English. A deed does not necessarily have to be signed, written, sealed, or delivered. Signed,
Sealed.
sealed, delivered. I'm
Sealed.
yours. It's what?
Sealed.
Sealed. Now, do you know what sealed means?
Yes. Just
Okay.
like a notary, or you have that seal.
Yeah,
you know.
notary.
We love it. Okay. 79. A person who receives title to land by virtue of having used and occupied it for a certain period of time without actually paying the previous owner for it receives title by A, will, B, descent, C, alienation, or D, adverse possession. Quiet, all's quiet. Okay, we got a D.
Adverse possession.
Adverse possession, we got another D. I think Trix is saying D. Yeah, the answer is D. It is adverse possession. Because we know if you give something by will, that's voluntary alienation, right? This person received title of land because they used it, they occupied it for a certain time, and they didn't pay the previous owner for it. And it's got to be, remember, hostile. You didn't have permission. Alienation just means to, transfer to somebody else. And descent means, hey, when you die, who does it go to? You got laws to talk about who it goes to. Adverse possession, however, if your use is open, continuous, exclusive, adverse, and notorious, then you qualify for adverse possession, which is very similar to creating an estate, an easement by prescription. Yeah. All right. 80. A conventional mortgage is A, amortizing, B, guaranteed by the FHA, C, not guaranteed by a government agency, or D, approved by the VA?
C.
Oh, we got confident Caroline back. Caroline says C. Do we like C?
Yes.
All right, we got Hannah. She's saying it's C as well. It's C. That's our answer. Not guaranteed by the government agency. Well, we know that is the definition of a conventional mortgage. If it was guaranteed by the FHA or had something to do with VA, it would not be conventional. It would be a government mortgage, right? Conventional mortgages are often amortizing, but the definition, this is our best answer, is not guaranteed because that's the definition. All right, before I move on to 81, I know I've got a couple of you all testing tomorrow. So any last minute questions, like a math problem or a topic you need me to review before you test? Amy
I
and
have
Hannah,
I,
go
I
ahead.
have one. Just it's I think you know the answer. Just to make sure you agree. Like if you have a seller and there's multiple offers, and the seller tells the agent, "I want you to tell all the buyers about the highest one, the highest offer." The agent can do that if the seller puts it in writing. Is that true?
No, not in North Carolina.
Okay. Okay, not in North Carolina. Okay.
Remember, in
In
North
some states,
Carolina,
so if it's
yeah,
like a okay,
but in
okay,
North Carolina, you need the offeror's permission. And in North Carolina, you need the seller's permission to tell people that there are multiple offers.
okay.
Good question. And Trick says, good luck. All
Thank
right,
you.
let's move on. Unless y'all had another question. And that's true for anybody, not just my people testing tomorrow. If there's somebody who has a question about a topic you want me to go over very quickly, I do not mind. So 81. The party to whom a deed conveys real estate is so the party to whom a deed conveys real estate is the A, grantee, B, grantor, C, excuse me, I'm not tired, sorry, C, beneficiary, or D, recipient.
Grantor. B.
We got a B, the grantor. Anybody else?
Can it also be the beneficiary or why not?
Well, here's the thing. The party to whom a deed conveys real estate. So the deed is conveying to whom? Does that make sense?
Mm,
The deed conveys to whom? You got this
Oh,
person
so from the
conveying to
grantee to
another
the
okay.
person.
So it's
grantor.
probably the grantee then instead of the
It's the
grantor.
grantee. It's that weird English there, which I don't think they'll do that to you anymore, but yeah, it's the party to whom a deed conveys real estate. So the beneficiary is what we have here when you're dealing with trusts. The beneficiary is the person who benefits from the ownership of whatever is in a trust. I mean, recipient is not bad. It's just not the correct verbiage. Now, I would check that answer, but remember I told y'all I got these questions from a random source. It got cut off at 75. Like, I don't have the other answers. So we're going blind at this point. Let me just make sure it wasn't in the wrong order. Yeah, no, I got nothing. Okay, 82. Which is not considered a permanent attachment to land? Anything growing on it, fixtures, chattels, or anything built on the land. And we know it's the answer that rattles. I feel like that should be a song, chattel rattles. Oh, I should put that into my Sora, that song making app, the AI, and be like, can we have a song that has to do with, chattel rattling? I just feel like it could do a really great job with that. I'm gonna write that down. We'll see what it comes up with. after I study for tomorrow. Okay. I feel like it should be a country song, maybe. I don't know. 83. The main appeal of VA mortgages to borrowers lies in. The main appeal of VA mortgage raps. You said rap. Okay, Tricks. I'll have it do country and rap. See which one. Maybe I'll play all of them and see which ones you all like. The main appeal of VA mortgages to borrowers lies in A, low interest rates, B, minimum down payments, C, unlimited mortgage ceiling, or D, easy availability.
I think it's minimum down payments.
I think it's minimum down payments too. You get a lower, I wouldn't call it minimum, but I would say lower down payments. Is it possible to get a no down payment conventional loan? It's possible, but it tends to be lower down payments. And then when you have, wait, I'm thinking about FHA, but even then, minimum down payments, it doesn't get more minimum zero. Like, you can't, no interest. I mean, no down payment is the lowest it can go. All right. 84. For which reason is a deed recorded? Is it A, to ensure certain title, B, to give notice to the world, C, to meet a state requirement, or D, to save title insurance costs? What are we thinking?
Thinking about B, it's tricky question though.
Okay, well, let's go through the answers. Is nobody else, when I see give notice to the world, there's that Tears for Fear song about the world. What is that song?
I don't know, but there is we are the world. That's
You know what song just popped in my head is the Sowing the Seeds of Love, but I don't know why the word world's not in that. Sowing the seeds. Okay, anyway, who knows what I'm thinking about in my head of mine, and why am I even thinking about Tears for Fears? And where are they now? I need a where are they now? Or a pop-up video on them. They need to do pop-up video for like where are they now version. Just saying.
I agree with Hannah, but it's kind of weird, like to give notice to the world.
Well, because what you're doing is you're giving constructive notice.
Yeah.
It is weird, but I mean, the whole world, anybody in the world can check your deeds, register of deeds. So it's that you're not insuring the title. It's not a state requirement, and you don't save money on title insurance. So even though it's weird, by process of elimination, we know it has to be B. And that song is so in my head now. Gosh. 85. Ownership of real property is transferred. Ownership of real property is transferred A, when the grantor signs the deed, B, when the grantor's signature has been notarized, C, when the deed is delivered, or D, when the correct documentary stamps are put on the deed and canceled. What are we thinking?
A.
I like A, but what are our essential elements of a deed?
D is also good.
Well, remember our essential elements.
C.
Yeah, that's our
Delivered.
answer. And I would try to write it out, but I'm not going to. Let's just come here. I'm always on these 2 pages, so they're so good. Because our essential elements, it has to be in writing. The grantor has to be competent. The grantor is the one that has to sign it. It's got to have a proper description. It's got to have words conveyance. Of course, it's got to be executed by the grantor. And then delivery and acceptance. So if the grantor signs it and they stop here, you don't have a valid deed. It needs to be delivered and accepted to the grantee. Now, all those other things are nice, but they don't make a deed valid. They don't necessarily mean that title is transferred or not transferred. So let's go back. Boop. When we look at this question 85, it's not when the grantor signs the deed. It doesn't have to be notarized. And the stamps happen when you record. It's when the deed is delivered. You have to actually give it to the other person or tell them about they've got it delivered and accept it. That's when it happens. Make sense?
Yes.
Cool. Love it. All right. It is just about 3:56, but what I wanted to see, I'm going to go a little extra, and I know, Caroline, you like seeing the math, but for anybody else, I wanted to make sure, and I'm sure there's some math here. Is there any math that you all wanted me to go over? I know I didn't mention it earlier, but are there any math problems that you needed me to do, or the ones that here that you wanted me to see, that you want to see?
Oh,
Can
the
you,
interest.
if you
Oh,
have
go
something,
ahead.
one of the interim interest,
Yeah,
please,
yeah.
just to see it one more
Interim
time.
interest. Okay, let me make one up. I drew a bird. We're gonna ignore that bird because it's hideous. I was like doodling while I was talking to my mom, and this is what came up. It's like do. Nobody said I was an artist. Okay. So let's the interim interest. So first, what is interim interest? Anybody?
It's the amount paid from the buyer from the day of closing to the end of the month.
Yes.
Okay.
So remember, when it comes to interim interest, if you have a closing, let's say, what is today? On the 7th. Let's say we had a closing on November 7th. Then the next month, we know we pay our bills or for our mortgage the first of the month. And the first of the month you owe for November, this would be December. And then on January 1st, you'd be paying for December. What we do, so that since you're going to be writing the tens of thousands of dollars check, is the bank says, why don't we collect all the interest from the 7th through the 31st? I'm sorry, the 30th of November. We're going to collect this the day of closing. Oop. Day of closing, so that you have no, I don't like this pen, so that you have nothing due on the first of the month. Your first payment would be January to cover December. So let's say we had a loan for $472,900. $472,900 at 6.25% for 30 years. How would we find out how much interest this is? And we're going to use a 365-day year. Well, first, step number one, we need to find an amount of annual interest. So I'm going to take that I don't like this pen. Take, oh, that's much better. 472,900. And I'm going to multiply it by 6.25% because this is our loan amount, and this is our annual percentage rate, and this is going to give us an amount of annual interest. So that's going to be 472,900 times 6.25%. That's going to give me $29,556.25. That's our annual interest. Well, that's great and all, but I'm not paying $29,000 a day of closing. That's for a whole year. We're saying to you, bank, look, I just want to collect what would be due for November. And you gave me the money on November 7th, so I'll pay you for the rest of November. So we need to figure out the number of days which would be 11/7 through 11/30. And you need to include the 7th. So that would be, and I always tell people use your fingers and toes. That's why God gave them to you. You're going to count the 7th, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. That is 24 days. Ah. 24 days. So now we're going to say, well, okay, we know it's 24 days. Let's take this 29,556.25 divided by 365. So we get a daily amount. So
Which
that's
is $80.97.
$80.98 thereabouts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
$80.90. Stop that. 8 cents. So then step 4, I'm going to do the $80.98 times 24 days. And that would give me, see, 80.98
1943.
times. Hey, I know you calculate better than me. It is 1943.52.
0.40. Yeah.
And it would be a buyer debit. Is it a seller credit?
No.
No, because it's going to the bank. So that is your interim interest. Remember, if we're talking about what the seller owes, the seller, it's
That's
a terrible
accrued
color.
interest, right?
That is accrued interest. The seller would owe from the 1st through the 7th. That feels okay, yes? Any other math you want me to go over for my getting ready to test babies or anybody?
Can you
Tricks-
do one? Can you do one problem? I know you're gonna hate me. 2836.
I don't mind doing a 2836. So let's say somebody makes, let's say they make, stop that. $105,000 a year. And you want to know what the max loan they could, the max like PITI payment they could afford. Well, you know, we like to split it in half. And if it's a conventional loan, you got the 28% and you got the 36%. So no more than 28% of what you make in a month can go towards housing expenses. So if I take the 105 and I divide it by 12, because this is annual. If I divide it by 12, 105 divided by 12, that gives me $8,750 a month. And if I take that $8,750 and I multiply it by 28%, what I get is $2,450. So we're saying, look, the max, you're going to say, your affordable payment, or what they'll give you, has got to been less than or up to $2,450. And that's got to include your PI, it's got to include your taxes, it's got to include your insurance, it's got to include your HOA, it's got to include your PMI, it's got to include all of that coming together, cannot be more than $2,450. So that would be that side. Well, we would do the same thing on the 36 side. We would say, you know, the 105 divided by 12 equals the 8,750, except this time we're taking the 8,750 and we're multiplying it by 36%. So if I take 8750 and multiply it by 36%, I get 3150. So in this case, that 3150 is going to be all of these things together. I like to call your housing expenses. So it's going to be your housing expenses plus any kind of recurring debts. So that would be like your car payment, a boat payment, maybe your student loans. Does that make sense, Amy?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, sometimes the problem would go through and say, well, how much of a loan is that going to be? In that case, what the problem has to do is tell you, let's see, let's say your
But when it's asking for the max, isn't it that you take the lower number that it's 3150?
well, so you take if they're asking you for the max, you take the lower number.
Yeah,
Because what
right.
you'd have to do is this problem would probably say this person pays, you know, $200 a month and I don't know, a motorcycle payment. That's it.
Right.
So you would take the 3150 and subtract out the 200, and that would give you, what is that, 2950? So the
Mhm.
most you could spend on this side would be 2950. But if you spend 2950 on housing expenses here, well then you've exceeded the 2450 over there. Or the easy way to remember is if they ask you the max, take the lower number, and if they ask you the minimum, take the higher number.
That is okay. Can you explain that a bit? I don't know why that is
Yeah.
confusing to me.
Okay, so remember when I showed you the video of Theo Huxtable,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right? So this is Bill Cosby, and this is what was his wife's name? Ah, Claire,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you got Theo. He's a mini person. So if Claire tells him to be home by 11 p.m. and Bill tells him to be home by 1 a.m., what time, what is the latest, what's the greatest amount of time, like clock time, that Theo could be out and not get in trouble? Well, if he comes in at 1 a.m., I don't care what Bill Cosby
11.
said.
Yeah. 11.
Claire is going to be like, I absolutely not. I told you about 11 o'clock. So it's the lower, if we're looking for the maximum, time he could be out, it's actually the lower of the two numbers.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I love that. That's great. Yep.
Mm-hmm. But let's say now, let's say he had to save for college. And let's say Bill said, by the time you're a senior, if you want me to buy you a car, you'd better save up $5,000. And let's say that Claire said, if you want a car, I'm going to need you to save up $3,000. What's the lowest amount that he could save up and get a car? Well, we're asking you to find the lowest amount. So our answer is the higher number. If you only come up with 3K, then Bill Cosby's going to be like, boy, I told you come up with 5.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make more sense now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It does. Thank you.
I used to talk about it. Did you remember when I played The Emperor's New Groove in class? You're like, no. If you ever watch The Emperor's New Groove, with the donkey and okay. Anyway, the guy in there had a shoulder angel and a shoulder devil. I used to say you got to keep both shoulder people happy. I know it sounds crazy, but if you like The Emperor's New Groove, it makes so much sense. Just saying.
The Cosby Show makes more sense to me. I love it.
That's because you haven't seen The Emperor's New Groove. It's great. It's the best. So, anything else I can explain for anybody? I know we got anything. We're good. All right. Well, as always, thank you for being patient with me at the beginning of this. Hopefully, I'll get this whole getting it down done. And I'll be able to, live stream a little bit easier. We'll figure out what happens. And if, good luck to Amy and Hannah and myself for our class exams. And I guess I will see you all on Wednesday. Remember, be good.
Thank you.
Or
Thank
don't get caught.
Lots
You're
of luck to you
welcome.
guys.
Oh,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you so much.